Welcome back to the channel. Please allow me to introduce to you Guro Brandon Ricketts of Ricketts FMA.
Very nice.
Earlier this year, I made it my goal to focus more on learning and to share this aspect of my FMA journey in this channel. And it's on this note that I reached out to Guro Brandon to share a little bit about what Ilustrisimo is like so that both you and I can learn a little bit about it. In this video, we're going to be learning about Brandon, his journey with martial arts, what the style of Ilustrisimo is like, and for those of you looking for a teacher, we're going to get a glimpse of what it's like to learn FMA with him through a short tutorial that he shares.
As you come back in, cut.
So having said all that, let's get started.
So my name is Brandon Ricketts. I practice the art of Kali Ilustrisimo under the Ricketts lineage. For the longest time, actually, I've always been introduced to martial arts growing up. I got exposed to martial arts when I was around 3 years old. That was in 96, actually. So ever since then, kind of growing up in a martial arts household, you could say. The style of Ilustrisimo, it's more of a bladed system. Because of the mindset of the blade, everything is very just sharp and precise, which plays a lot with the boxing background that I have, which kind of translates with each other. How I see it, it's kind of like a perfect marriage in a way, where in boxing you always want to keep your hands up, elbows in, using more of your body mechanics to throw punches. Same thing how it is with the Ilustrisimo system. Not so much a swing, body mechanics, a lot of hip work. I feel like that also plays with my dad's, coming from my dad, since he was the one who taught me a lot about the system. So everything was always very strict with him, because he was very heavy on foundation. Other styles, other Illustrissimos out there, they have a different approach to it, but I still stick to tradition, where there's still, this is how it was taught from before. I mean, I would still teach it that same way, but I kind of take it up a notch because, I mean, with the system, Tatang is very tall. He's like around like 5'10" or something. So the system is kind of meant for taller people. So I had to adjust in a way where I had to make it fit for my body type. And so there's a little bit of tweaks here and there, but a lot of the focus for me was more on footwork. With that being said, with my other students, I'm able to kind of pinpoint as to, okay, so for you, since this is your body type, I think this works best for you. With the whole Ilustrisimo, it's just, there's so many techniques and movements that I would actually tend to question, you know, because, you know, like being young, a little bit younger and everything, kind of want to see, does it work? Is it legit? Does it work? There was always a lot of questions like that. And I noticed that for some of my students who were taller, they were able to pull off certain techniques that I could never pull off. But then there were some techniques that I could pull off that they can't pull off because of body type, different backgrounds and things like that. So there was a lot of that involved. So that's when I started noticing that, okay, so, you know, I can teach you like that, like how it is, but then as you start getting deeper into the system, you start getting your own style, your own flavor kind of thing. So it's like, you all look the same, but then you have different expression of how you go through the movement and everything. Whenever I would do Ilustrisimo, I'd feel a lot closer to more of like my culture and also with my father. So it's more like a personal thing. Besides that, just how FMA looks in general, I mean, when you see it, the flow, the movement, it's something very different, like it's very distinct. Like you can tell that it's actually FMA, not just any other system or any other martial arts out there, right? I mean, before when I used to teach, it was more of like just here and there teaching kind of thing. But I started getting into it more. It was during the like pandemic was when I started like getting back into it. I mean, with the whole teaching thing, I was kind of just quiet. I would kind of just teach like maybe like 1 or 2 guys, things like that. I wasn't really like out there in terms of like the name or advertising myself or things like that. But it wasn't until a certain individual, actually, it was Dean Franco from FMA Discussion. He was actually the one who kind of helped bring me up in terms of the community, like started like posting me more, advertising, kept pushing me to actually do more like seminars, do more online classes. And then sure enough, after that, I started falling in love with it even more. It's like that, like teaching itself, yeah. And so here I am now. So hopefully, you know, be able to really pass on and show everyone what more of like my understanding of FMA and Ilustrisimo, I guess you could say, would be, right? The first step when learning FMA, from how I see it, is that it depends on what your goal is. Are you here just to learn more of like the arts and the form, or is it something that you want to learn that's more of kind of like as a self-defense kind of situation? Because once you know which one you want to pick, then that should kind of filter out as to what kind of styles you want to go for. Because there's so many styles out there, especially in FMA, but everyone has their own focus. Right? Some could be focused more on forms. Some could be focused more on sparring. Back then, I didn't have a choice. I was just, this is it, sparring. It was like baptism by fire kind of thing, all sparring throughout. But again, I mean, that's just because of me. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna like it. I just ended up liking it. I had no choice anyways. But for others out there, you know, if you had a choice, you know, just check out the style, do a lot of research, see which ones really speak to you. Because again, you don't want to just start training into something that you don't feel like doing. Especially, you know, when it feels like a hassle going to training. It's like, oh, it's like a 9-to-5 job kind of thing, you know? So one thing for sure is do your research. Make sure that it's actually a style that interests you, that you like. And then from there, you know, now it's up to you as to, do you want to stick with this style? Or if you want to pursue other styles, then you can start kind of looking off there. But I mean, it's really more on a personal preference with that. FMA is a beautiful art. It really is. And so any chance you get to learning any kind of FMA, like really just go for it. Because, I mean, whether you're Filipino or not, it's the culture. It's a really beautiful style. It's a beautiful art to learn.
So for us to get a little bit more context to Guro Brandon's approach to teaching, he's going to share with us a short tutorial of a principle in a system called Sungkit. Now, before we begin, I just wanted to say that I really appreciated how he went through the finer nuances of this technique. And in this next portion of the video, you're going to get a glimpse of the philosophies of Ilustrisimo, Guro Brandon's approach to teaching, as well as what it was like for me personally to try to grasp and understand this concept.
How the motion goes. I strike your hand, right? It misses, boom. As you come back in, cut. So it's a very simple motion. It's not so much of, for example, strike here again. It doesn't go this way, because this is too big.
Right. And then I'd have time to
exactly,
do
exactly.
something.
So all you're doing, it's a very subtle motion.
Okay.
Where the moment you're here, as you're striking, I'm just flicking the wrist. See?
Yeah.
Boom.
It kind of looks like, oh wait, can I try?
Yeah.
So you're coming here. It's like this is already your setup
Exactly.
to strike. Like you're bouncing off it.
Exactly.
Okay.
When you're striking with this first angle, you do not make the tip face back. Because if you face it back, look how long it's going to take you to do that Sungkit. It takes too much time.
Okay.
Versus tip forward. So that's the difference between blade and stick. Because
Okay.
for the blade, in terms of Ilustrisimo, you want to make sure every time you strike, the tip is always forward. So if he comes in, you're always ready to thrust.
I see. Oh, that's why I see people keeping it this way. Whereas,
Exactly.
yeah, I'm used to stick fighting, so we want to keep it there
Exactly.
for more power.
So because it depends on, of course, like what weapon you're using and things
Right,
like that.
right.
If it's stick, of course, you have that power to
Right.
go in. But for blade, since it's very subtle, you want to keep it here just so you're ready for
Right.
the thrust. The moment you come in, boom, see? That's it. So this stays here. Not here,
not,
but here.
not here.
Not there.
Right.
Keep your chest forward right there. Right there. See? So just in case, from a blade perspective, if I come in, you can just thrust.
Yeah.
See? So now here, as I'm coming, all you're doing is just flicking your wrist at this angle. Yep. The arm gets added on. Of course, it's not just, you can't get it just here.
Right.
So just a little bit. But as
Okay.
long as your fist doesn't go out of your body. The moment it goes out, you'll notice how it's too far now.
Okay, so this is the limit.
Keeping it
Yeah.
with the square, yep. If you're just going for points, you can either go for either to the hand, to the head as you go, or as you clear this off, you can just go, keep that same position, thrust. This has been in the family for about, since like the late or early 90s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is
Okay.
old. This is really
Nice.
old.
Yeah.
But you can tell there's some weight to it compared to
I can see how this would be enough because of the weight,
Yes,
right? So like a small motion would already generate
Exactly.
a little bit more power than
Exactly.
maybe like a rattan stick.
exactly. Because
Yeah.
since it's so light, it's easy to just swing it
Right.
all the way through. But here, since it's all about just a tightness, very subtle movements. So when you would strike me, boom, see? That's it. That's all you need. So once I'm coming in, yes. But now keep in mind that your motion here doesn't go this way. Think of bringing this towards an angle.
Ah, why
when
not
you're-
this way?
Because if you push it off this way, you push my hand to the side, I can come back in. But you push it upwards, it's a whole different thing.
Okay.
So, meaning, like, strike here, right? Watch. If I push you to the side, they can easily just come back down.
Okay.
But if I push you out here also, watch. My angle, so that now I'm prepped for the chop. if
Right.
needed. Because if I still see your hand coming in, it's okay because the way my hand is prepped, even if you come in, I can go in with a different
Right.
strike.
And you can probably parry it with the weight. of it,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the idea is, the way you're setting up the Sungkit is that you are prepping yourself so it's easier for you to come in for that chop. You go out here, you can see this from a mile away. Versus
Okay.
here where it's subtle. Because now here I have the option to either go up, go low, go around, or just thrust if I need to. This isn't complete now unless you do the footwork with it.
Okay.
So basic footwork, as basic as it can get, because if someone's like long, gonna reach you here. If you try to do this,
I'm
gonna get hit,
gonna get
yeah.
cut. Right.
so the goal for you is when you are using the Sungkit, you want to get it towards the tip. The closer you are to the tip with clearing, the farther your head is.
Okay.
If you bring it more here, see how it's kind of getting
Makes
closer
sense.
to you?
Yeah.
So distance, you're keeping this larger motion. So the idea of this is that, for example, I'll strike you, right? I'll do the technique.
sure.
So as you dodge one, right? So as you, let's say you're reaching here. You didn't go for the hand, you went here.
Okay.
If I went here,
Okay.
I mean, I'll get hit.
Yeah.
So all I'm doing is just stepping back.
Okay. Like a step and slide.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then, if you can reach for him over here, go for it. If not,
Step back.
step
yeah.
in.
Okay.
So it's just a simple back and forth.
Okay. Wait. So.
So every time you are, so strike here, right? Okay, now
One.
stop here, yes. Anytime you're doing some sort of deflection, that's the time when you move back to
Move
create
back,
spacing.
okay.
So move back. And then as you come back in, yes. So it's just a simple back and forth. If you have the confidence for it, then you can just do this. I'll strike your hand, right? So here. So more of like a pullback.
Ah. Okay. Pull back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's more of if you're confident with your distance.
Right.
You know you're not gonna get hit. Then go for that. So, but as foundation, out, in.
Step and slide. Can I try?
Yes. Strike. As I come in.
Oops.
Yes.
I didn't
So
get
don't
it.
break the wrist. Keep the
Okay.
wrist locked.
Okay. Sorry. Again.
So as you go, one.
One.
Yep.
Two,
Yes.
3.
So you're here. Instead of going this way, your hand, right? Don't go this way. Think of just going up. The same angle you came
Right,
down
right.
from. Come back that same angle.
Okay. That's okay. That's
Yeah.
how I'm gonna remember it. So 1.
And
Two,
see,
three.
it's a different feel to the.
It's different. I'm not used
Right?
to this.
So again, one more time. One.
It feels like a reset.
Step back. Yes. Exactly. Because that reset serves as if, let's say,
So you're also ready to strike. Right?
yeah, exactly. Because you're prepping yourself for it.
Right.
So as I'm coming in here, yes, that's it. So strike one.
So 1,
Boom.
2,
Good.
3.
Now, same idea. I'm gonna try to reach for your head. So you'll notice how you have to create
Okay,
that
sure.
distance.
Yeah. 1.
You see what I mean?
3. Yeah.
So you want to watch out for that. So really make sure that you are stepping
Right.
for it.
1.
So from here, right? Say strike one. Boom. Nothing yet. Just moving around. Let's say strike again. Nothing yet. So now he's gonna come in at you. Yes. So that's the motion of the Sungkit. Quick, subtle motion. Up to you how you want to go about it, meaning the follow-up. Because with, for example, here, right? Strike. Right? As you're coming in here, it always depends as to what the situation
Right.
is. Usually for the Sungkit, the idea is you're kind of just smacking it off. But if he's the type that really comes down fast, your best option now is not just with the wrist, but really more of
Okay.
Quick turn.
Oh, you still didn't go out of your
Still gonna- don't
center
go
line,
out.
right? Yeah. So you
not
use
at
your
all.
hip.
So it's more of the rotation.
Ah, okay.
Exactly. So a lot of this, when it comes to body mechanics, it's how you rotate your shoulders because it's the same as.
Yeah,
So rotating from here, it goes.
I see.
So a lot of the movements we do is that, for example, if I'm doing, let's say, just for example, just in general, how I go through the motion. You have this one, you have this one, you have this one. Everything is coming from the body.
Yeah.
So even as I'm flicking, it's like the same as how I would parry. So everything is very slow. You want to keep it just within your square, just because it's more of a blade system.
Right, right.
With the heavier blade, the moment I do this, it takes too much time for me. It takes a lot of
Just come
effort for me to
back,
come
right.
back. So you want to keep it very subtle.
Ah, so you guys are here because if one of you
Yes.
goes this way, the other guy's gonna come in, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because the philosophy of Ilustrisimo is that what we see is not the attack, but the opening. So the moment, let's say someone comes in for a strike right here, that's the idea for it. It's like the moment I see that,
Right,
I'm not
I-
looking at this, I'm looking at that. So usually,
Ah, I see. Okay,
So-
that's interesting. Yeah.
there are some blades that have like the
You're not
edge.
looking at this is coming down. You're looking at his
Like where's the
arms
opening is.
open.
Exactly. So I know there are some blades that there's an edge on the tip. They're kind of sharpened
Yeah.
on this side. So this is where the original Sungkit comes in because there's an original way to it. For example, let's say here, right? As you come in,
Ah,
the Sungkit happens
It's already
to
a cut.
because that's the opening. You see what I mean?
Oh, nice.
But in
yeah.
a sparring sense, of course,
Right.
deflecting this, and oh, sorry,
It's okay.
deflecting that, and then coming back in. But in originality, right here, as I'm coming, you're doing the Sungkit onto the hand because this is sharp.
Right.
Sharpen.
If you're coming, boom.
Boom. Exactly.
Oh.
You see? So that's the original way of doing that Sungkit.
I do see some guys practicing with sharp on both
Like
ends.
exactly.
Okay, so that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but yeah, so that's the Sungkit motion and everything. Yeah.
Thank you. No problem.
So that is it for today's video. I do hope you enjoyed it and got something from this. If you're interested in learning Filipino martial arts and learning under Guro Brandon, I will be leaving links to his social media pages in the description box below this video. A shout out of course to my Patreon supporters who help me produce these videos. If you would like to support these videos as well, I will leave a link to my Patreon page as well as my merch shop in the description box below this video as well. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.